students, hope all of you are fine and healthy at your home. I hope you have seen the previous video of this chapter. Now today we are going to start our next topic, that is properties of whole numbers. Before proceeding to the next topic, let's have a quick recap of what we have done earlier. Children, what are natural numbers? Natural numbers are those numbers which start from 1. Natural numbers are also known as counting numbers. What are whole numbers? Whole numbers are those numbers which start from 0. What is a successor? Successor is the number that comes just after the given number. We can obtain the successor by adding 1 to the given number. What is predecessor? Now predecessor is the number which comes just before the given number, and we can obtain the predecessor by subtracting 1 from the given number. Now children, let's have a small quiz based on the previous topics. Question number 1. Which is the smallest whole number? The answer is 0, because whole number starts from 0. So 0 is the smallest whole number. Question number 2. Which is the smallest natural number? The answer is 1. Why 1 is the smallest natural number? Because natural number starts from 1. Question number 3. The successor of 4500 is dash. The successor of 4500 is 4501. Why? Because you know successor is the number which comes just after the given number, and you have to add 1 to 4500 to obtain its successor. So 4501 is the successor of 4500. Question number 4. 12,001 is the predecessor of dash. The answer is 12,002, because predecessor is the number which comes just before the number. So 12,001 comes before 12,002. Now the next question is, the successor of largest 4-digit number is dash. The successor of largest 4-digit number is 10,000. Why? Because the largest 4-digit number is 9,999. If you add 1 to this number, you will get 10,000. So 10,000 is the correct answer. Children, that is the end of this quiz. I hope you all have enjoyed this short session of the quiz. Now let's move further to the next topics. Our next topic is properties of whole numbers. The first property is closure property. Second is property is commutative property. Third property is associative property. Fourth property is distributive property, and the fifth property is identity, that is for addition and multiplication. Now let's study closure property. Children, you all know what are whole numbers. What will happen if you add two whole numbers, say 4 and 5? You will get 9. 9 is also a whole number. Take another example, 8 and 4. If you add 8 and 4, both are whole numbers, you will get 12, which is again a whole number. Take another example, 90 and 0. Both are whole numbers. If you add 90 and 0, you will get 90, which is again a whole number. So it is clear from the above examples that sum of any two whole numbers results in whole number. It means if you add any two whole numbers, you will get a whole number. Therefore, we can say that sum of any two whole numbers is a whole number, or in other words, you can say collection of whole numbers is closed under addition. This property is known as closure property for addition of whole numbers. Children, now let's study closure property under multiplication. What will happen if you multiply two whole numbers? In the first examples, the two whole numbers are 7 and 8. If you multiply 7 and 8, their product is 56, which is a whole number. In the second example, the two whole numbers are 5 and 6. The product of 5 and 6 is 30, which is again a whole number. In the third examples, the two whole numbers are 0 and 15. The product of 0 and 15 is 0, which is again a whole number. From the above examples, we can conclude that multiplication of two whole numbers is also found to be a whole number. Or you can say, if you multiply two whole number, their product is also a whole number. Therefore, it is clear that system of whole numbers is closed under multiplication. Children, you have just studied that whole numbers are closed under addition and multiplication. Whole numbers are not closed under subtraction. Let's study why. Subtract any two whole numbers and observe the difference. In the first example, 5 minus 3. 3 has to be subtracted from 5. The difference is 2. 2 is a whole number. Second example, 9 has to be subtracted from 6. The difference is minus 3. Why minus 3? Because 9 has to be subtracted from a smaller number. So the difference is minus 3, which is not a whole number, because negative numbers and fractional numbers are not whole numbers. Look at the third example, 7 minus 2. The difference is 5, which is a whole number. So you can see difference in all the cases is not a whole number. You can say that it is not necessary that the result is always a whole number in case of subtraction. If you subtract bigger number from a smaller number, the result is not a whole number. Therefore, we can say that whole numbers are not closed under subtraction. Like subtraction, whole numbers are not closed under division also. Now let's study why. Divide any two whole numbers and observe the quotient. In the first example, 8 divided by 2. The quotient is 4, which is a whole number. Second example, 2 divided by 4. This will give you half or 0.5, which is not a whole number. In the third example, 9 is divided by 3. The quotient is 3, which is a whole number. You can see in the given examples, quotient is not a whole number in all the cases. Thus, we can say whole numbers are not closed under division, because it may possible that division may give us a fractional number. So, the conclusion is whole numbers are closed under addition and multiplication, but they are not closed under subtraction and division. The next property we will study is commutative property. This property states that we can add or multiply whole numbers in any order. It means if we change the order of the numbers, the result does not change. For example, 3 plus 2 is equal to 2 plus 3. You can see here that if we change the order of 3 and 2, the sum does not change. It will give you the same sum in both the cases. In another example also, 5 plus 4 is equal to 4 plus 5, that is 9. If you change the order of 5 and 4, the result does not change. You can see in multiplication also, 6 into 3 is equal to 3 into 6. It will give you the product 18 in both the cases, even if you change the order of 6 and 3. Similarly, 2 into 5 is equal to 5 into 2. You can say that addition and multiplication are commutative for whole numbers. Children, now you know that addition and multiplication are commutative for whole numbers. Can we say that subtraction and division are also commutative for whole numbers? The answer is no. Why the answer is no? Let's study. 5 minus 4 is not equal to 4 minus 5 because 5 minus 4 will give you 1, but 4 minus 5 will give you minus 1. So 1 is not equal to minus 1. In the case of subtraction, if we change the order, the answer is not same. Same is with division also. 10 divided by 5 is not equal to 5 divided by 10 because 10 divided by 5 gives you the answer 2. But 5 divided by 10 gives you the answer 1 upon 2, which is equal to 0.5. So in the case of division also, if we change the order of the whole numbers, the answer is not same. So we can say subtraction and division are not commutative for whole numbers. Now let's study the third property, which is associative property. This property states that if A, B and C are whole numbers, then A plus B bracket close plus C is equal to A plus bracket B plus C bracket close. It means if there are three whole numbers, then while adding we can group them in any order. Look at the given example. There are three whole numbers 1, 2 and 3. First we have grouped 1 and 2. The sum is 3. This 3 is added to 3. The sum is 6. In the second case, first we have grouped 2 and 3. The sum is 5. This 5 is added to 1. The sum is again 6. This shows that results are same even if we change the grouping of numbers. We can group them in any order. The result does not change. This is called associative property of addition. Now children, associative property holds true in the case of multiplication also. It means while multiplicating, we can group them in any order. Let's understand this by the following examples. The three given whole numbers are 2, 3 and 4. In the first case, first we have grouped 2 and 3. The product of 2 and 3 is 6. The 6 has to be multiplied by 4. The product is 24. In the second case, first we have grouped 3 and 4. The product is 12. Now we will multiply 2 by 12. The product is 24. So from the given examples, we can see the product is same in both the cases even if we change the grouping of numbers. So we can see associative property holds true for multiplication also. Children, you have just seen that associative property holds true for addition and multiplication. Can we say that this property holds true for subtraction also? The answer is no. Let's understand why. Look at the following example in which the three whole numbers are 5, 3 and 2. In the first case, we have grouped 5 and 3. We have taken 5 minus 3 in bracket, then minus 2. First we will solve the bracket, that is 5 minus 3. It will give us 2. Then we will write 2 minus 2. The answer is 0. In the second case, we have grouped 3 and 2 together. We will write 5 minus bracket 3 minus 2 bracket close. First we will solve the bracket. The difference of 3 and 2 is 1. Then we will write 5 minus 1. The answer is 4. We can see from the above example that 0 is not equal to 4. This shows that results are not same if we regroup the number except in certain cases. Means in some cases we may get the same answer, but it is not necessary that every time we get the same answer. So we cannot say that if we regroup the numbers we will get the same answers. Children, now see the case of division. Look at the given example. 12 divided by 3 divided by 2. First we will take 12 and 3 in the brackets. 12 divided by 3 is written in the brackets. So we will solve 12 divided by 3 first, as we all know that whatever is in the bracket we have to solve it first. So 12 divided by 3 gives 4. Now we will write 4 divided by 2. Here we have written 4 divided by 2. This gives 2. Now in the second case we have grouped 3 and 2. We have written 3 divided by 2 in the brackets and 12 is written outside the bracket. So we will write 12 divided by 1.5. If we divide 3 by 2, the quotient is 1.5. So we will solve this now. 12 divided by 1.5 gives 8. Now from this example we have seen that 2 is not equal to 8. This shows that results are not same if we regroup the number except in certain cases. Here it says that in certain cases it might be possible that we may get the same answer, but it is not necessary that every time we get the same answer. So division does not follow the associative property except in few cases. Children, now let's study distributive property, which is the fourth property of whole numbers. Now let's study the first case, distributive of multiplication over addition. Look at the given example, 290 multiply 105. To make this multiplication easy, we break 105 into two parts, that is 100 plus 5. Then we will make use of distributive property. 290 multiply 105 can be written as 290 and bracket 100 plus 5. First we will multiply 290 by 100. Then we will write addition sign. Then we will again multiply 290 by 5. First we will solve this. 290 multiply 100. It will give 29,000. Then we will multiply 290 by 5. It will give 1450. Then after this we will add 29,000 and 1450. It will give the answer 30,450. This is the final answer. So in the distributive property, first we break 105 into two parts, that is 105. Then we will write 290 bracket 100 plus 5. First we will multiply 290 by 100. Then we will write addition sign. Then we will multiply 290 by 5. First we will solve 290 by 100. It will give 29,000. Then we will multiply 290 by 5. It will give 1450. Then we will add these two terms together to get the final answer, which is 30,450. I hope you understood this. Children, now see the second case of distributive property, which is distributive of multiplication over subtraction. Dear children, this is same as addition, except in this case we will subtract the terms. Look at the given example. If your question is 200 multiply 98. To make this multiplication easy, you will write 98 as 100 minus 2 since it is less than 100. So you will write 98 as 100 minus 2. Then you will write the question as this form, 200 bracket 100 minus 2. First you will multiply 200 by 100. 200 multiply 100. Then there is subtraction sign in between. Then you will multiply 200 by 2. First you will solve the first bracket, 200 multiply 100. It will give 20,000. Then you will multiply 200 by 2. It will give 400. Since there is subtraction sign in between, so you will find the difference between these two terms. The difference comes is 19,600. This is your final answer. I hope you have understood these two properties. The fifth property is identity property. Now the first is additive identity. Children, what will happen if we add 0 to any whole number? Yes, we get the same whole number again. Thus, 0 is called an identity for addition, or in other words, 0 is known as additive identity. You can see in given example, if 0 is added to 5, we will get 5. Now, Let's see the property of 0 in case of multiplication. If any whole number is multiplied by 0, it becomes 0. In other words, if we multiply any number by 0, we get 0. For example, if 0 is multiplied by 450, the answer is 0. Multiplicative identity. If you multiply any whole number by 1, what will you get? Yes, you get the same number. Thus, 1 is called the multiplicative identity of any whole number. Look at the given example. If 9 is multiplied by 1, we will get 9. If 7 is multiplied by 1, we will get 7. Thus, by multiplying any whole number by 1, we will get the same whole number again. Thus, 1 is known as multiplicative identity. Dear children, that's all for today's video lecture. Please watch this video carefully as these properties are very important because we are going to use them in our next exercise 2.2. Children, we are going to start our next exercise very shortly. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you and have a nice day.